KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
Every single week. You know, I did not realize we were this close to starting the show this morning. I was having a great conversation over here about some stuff, some great stuff going on with Brittany, and all of a sudden it's like, we're going live.
I just do that all the time.
There's not a whole lot of difference between being on the air and then between the takes. So
that is true.
Yeah,
that is
pretty
absolutely true.
So we got
right
an interesting show today.
We have a great show today. You know, one of the things that we like to do, and I want to start off by saying, you know, I want to thank every single one of our veterans and our active military out there who is serving this country and making it what it is today, which is, you know, we live in truly the best country in the world in regards to freedoms, freedom of expressions, the ability for us to sit up here today and not worry about anything. I mean, it really and truly, you know, every time I see an individual in uniform or out of uniform, I go up there, thank them very much.
I see them in the airports all the time.
Absolutely. Give up
Likewise.
a seat, buy them a meal, whatever it needs to be, just because I think it's that important for us to support our troops.
Well,
so.
you know, I grew up in the military, so I know what it's like to be a dependent
Yes.
and how it impacts your life. And so part of what we're going to talk about today is, you know, the vet and kind of reestablishing themselves in communities and moving the families around and things like that. So, and guess who we have on?
We have Brittany
K.
K. Martinez.
Well, welcome
That's
to
why I
the
was doing that
show.
earlier.
Good
I didn't
morning,
even know
good
that the show
morning.
started.
So you've actually just gotten a designation. Talk a little bit about the designation you just got.
Yes, the MRP, that is Military Relocation Professional. It's a national certification to better serve our military.
And so
And you have a real passion, by the way. I mean,
Yes.
one of the things, if you know, what we mentioned about this is, you know, I see you on Facebook. I know you personally, et cetera, et cetera. You've got a real passion because of not only your background, but also helping our veterans who are coming back, who might be leaving, et cetera, et cetera.
That's right. I specialize with our military, our first responders, medical professionals, and educators. That is because I started out as an EMT, went into law enforcement, became a preschool teacher, and now a realtor, and I am also a U.S. Marine Corps wife.
Wow.
So
she's not someone you want to mess with,
you
by
do
the
not
way.
want to mess-
But she is somebody you want to have in the car with you. Anything goes down, by the way.
EMT, police, and preschool teacher.
Makes
I
it
see how
qualify
all
for a
those go
realtor.
together
Yes.
very well as pre-qualifiers for being a realtor.
I believe that's correct.
You're,
Well, you know,
used to
sometimes
dealing
you have
with
to
little
kick butt and
children
take
who might
names in
injure
real estate, right?
themselves.
That's
Get out of
it. That's
control
exactly
at any
it.
minute.
Well, I always tell teachers make great realtors because they're used to dealing with children.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, we're all going out today, and we're either going to go look at
Well,
houses. And
You know, think about it. She's got three major qualifiers. She's used to dealing with children who might injure themselves or get a little out of control at any minute.
Yes.
So those are all that's perfect for dealing with real
And she
estate.
packs heat to be able to take care of the whole
Packs heat.
thing.
Yeah.
That I do.
do you still have the cuffs? We'll talk about that later.
That's another conversation.
You just tuned into Christian Broadcasting Radio, the all innuendo hour.
I'm trying to have
Rob
a question.
lost it on that
I lost it on that one. Totally
I
lost
thought
it.
I was going to draw the blank today.
No, my thought's still in there. It's still in there. I want to talk about how you have a cadre of veterans that you work with. They probably refer you other veterans and stuff like that. And someone comes back from being deployed, and then they want to find a home here in Houston. Start with that little process of what that looks like and how that's handled.
Yes.
And what's different?
Well, what's different is many of my active military actually purchase homes with me without even viewing them. They are overseas or in Hawaii or whatnot. They contact me and they let me know what their wants are. Of course, we pre-qualification. What can we get? a lot of the military are so easy to please because they come from housing developments or whatnot that
They've been living in barracks.
yes, yes. So something is better than anything. They're used to just getting what they can. Although, of course, I try to provide them with better than that. So
Not a high bar there. I lived in military housing on Guam. It was a CMU, 1-story level, louvers, no AC.
Oh yeah.
Right across from the airstrip.
it has gotten better in a lot of areas. It's gotten a lot better, but like I said, I'm just very passionate about it. So,
And let me tell you how passionate she has the patriotic dress on
Yes.
right now. By the way,
When
Yes.
we take pictures later on, we're going to make sure we exploit that red, white, and blue with.
that is correct. That
yes,
is correct.
and I even have a special closing dress that is patriotic as well that I wear to all of my closings as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you get this veteran, and of course they're buying it sometimes online and getting them settled in and things like that. What? How do you get that process through that process with them?
Well, they it's like,
Well, it's different. It's a very different transaction than physically taking somebody out and looking at the homes. They're
Yeah,
Yes.
how
entirely
do you
on you.
facilitate that process?
well, thank
what's the flow
goodness
of
the
that
internet
process?
is the main thing. You
Yes.
know, usually with today's real estate, the people come to me with the homes that they want to see. Of course, and there's a few other things or other relationships in the community that I know of that they aren't listed on the MLS or whatnot. So that's where we start. And of course, most of these people are using their VA benefit, which leads us to a whole nother story.
Yes. Well, we do want to talk about that because Chris is going to address VA loans and stuff today. So we're going
Right.
to talk a little bit about that because there's a lot of misunderstandings about VA loans.
Well, there is a lot of misunderstandings, and we're not going to take away from the segment yet. But one of the things we're going to talk about is also how many veterans don't take advantage of their VA
Is that true?
eligibility. It's
Yeah.
a
That's
very,
correct.
it's a
I've heard that quite a
relatively
bit.
high number. I mean, we have, and for all our veterans out there, if you are a vet, it's the best loan you can do out there. It's one of the best programs. You get to go to closing with Brittany K. Martinez, by the way, in this beautiful dress. But let me tell you, a lot of our veterans don't take advantage of what they have out there for their service in the country, especially when it comes to a loan. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But,
Yeah, it's the absolute first question I ask when anyone approaches me about purchasing a home is, are you a veteran?
right. It's the number. I ask them all the time because it's the best product and program. out
I've
there.
heard that from a lot of lenders that it's. I was talking to someone recently, and they were like, 2 weeks before everything's done. They've been working on it for a while, get everything in order, and it just kind of came up in random conversation that the guy was a veteran.
Is that random people?
Yeah, with the random person. Yes,
random
yes.
people over, hashtag.
And the loan officer was like, "Why didn't you tell me this when we started the process out? We have all this, the VA loan and all. You could have done that." Oh, I didn't know.
So you
It's
have
like-
to educate quite a bit then about they have benefits they may not even know about.
Right, absolutely. And then another perk that they get when they use me personally is I have a special program that I give back to the veteran. And what I do is I take 20% of my commission and I rebate them at closing.
That's awesome.
That is really good right there, because a lot of times, even though using your VA benefits, you're going to get some reduced closing costs, et cetera, just be able to know that you have some additional add-ons right there. 20% of your commission. A lot of times that can be the difference between getting into a home and 100% financing, or having to come out of pocket a little bit when they can't. Because sometimes in the military, families are extremely tight. They're married, they have children, they're on a budget, they're trying to improve themselves, and they just can't come up with all the
Well,
money.
I
that's
can
needed
tell you
right
from
there.
personal standpoint, moving with the military is different than moving in private life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got certain weight allowances, and then they tell you when you're going, when you're packing. You don't have a whole lot of choices, and so you have to work with that kind of schedule. Is the military says it's this day, this time, this is what's going to happen, and you either prepared to go or not. And if you're military, you're going.
Right.
And
Yep.
and I remember we got
Lots of nodding on Brittany's part.
yeah, Brittany's over here nodding.
I forgot that they can't.
Yes.
She's hand motioning over
Yeah.
here, nodding. It's like they can't see you, Brittany. You know that, don't you? We all have faces for radio. That's
Yes.
why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Exactly right. Although she could be great on television.
Yes, absolutely.
And anyway, we're in that process, and somebody gets their orders. They're coming in town. They want to buy something, or they're getting out of the service. They've done their time, and they're coming back to Houston, and so they contact you, and then talk about that.
Well, it's much like any other process or sales transaction, except for usually the time restraint. Like you said, we're moving very quickly. So that makes a difference, and that's something that being an MRP that you have to understand, that time is definitely of the essence. We're dealing with military orders, and in those cases of active Marines or anyone in the military for that matter.
She just happened to have a Marine right now.
Yes.
That's the reason why she wanted to put
I have a large group of Marines. It is a brotherhood, so.
Yeah.
Let's talk about niche marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great niche. So because
Niche marketing.
it's an often overlooked. Because people are afraid of VA loans. I know there's agents out there who have never done one. They've been in the business
Brittany's
a long
all
time.
like, "Oh, your Air Force."
Yeah. I bet she'll take
I
care
love
of them
them
too.
all. I love them
I don't
all.
know. I really only work with Marines.
Well, one of the things, though...
I'll have to refer this one out.
Exactly, right? I can't do the flyers. But, one of the things, as you're mentioning, a lot of times those orders come in, they have to move fast, they have to get pre-qualified. And from a VA perspective, there's a lot of benefits. One of the misnomers that I always like to put out there, and I tell everybody, I have this little stool every once in a while I get on, not because I'm short, because I like to speak loud. And one of that is if you get an offer, if you're a listing agent and you get an offer for a VA loan, seriously don't turn that down, and don't look at it as being something that's going to be costing your sellers more money to do. One of the things a VA loan talks about is that you have what they call allowables and non-allowables. These are closing costs that are either allowed or not allowed to be paid for by the veteran. Now, it's not allowed. The non-allowables means that a particular closing cost, like a processing fee, closing fee, et cetera, transfer fee, is not allowed to be paid for by the veteran. It does not say the seller has to pay for it. That is the big misnomer out there. So if the buyer can't pay for it, and it's not a negotiated part of the sales contract, who pays for it? The lender. So one of the things I tell people all the time is, look, if you're a listing agent out there listening to me, VA loans will not cost you any more or cost the seller any more versus an FHA, versus a conventional, versus a lot of other loans that are out there. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people who give misinformation as to the way that needs to work, and it's wrong. So that's my little soapbox.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for stating that.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
because
it is different, but
yeah.
Again, people are real fearful. But you've taken the time to go educate yourself. Talk about the designation. What do they train you in doing that's different for the vet than a normal transaction?
Well, you learn to identify the veteran's needs, and like I said, the speed of the process. The other thing I want to point out, when we're dealing with active, they usually want to stay within their housing allowance or even under. So it's real easy to work with them because they're not trying to look at properties that are outside of their means or whatnot. So that helps greatly with me being able to find them a home quickly.
Because this is the price. This is all we're doing.
Exactly.
That does kind of refine it quite a bit. So I can certainly understand that would be helpful. Is there any other kind of issues that are different?
Not really. I mean, of course, explaining their VA loan benefits and whatnot. There are a few national lists that you're able to be on, so you're at the front of the line when it comes to when they're looking for an agent in a certain area or whatnot.
There's only one, isn't it?
Exactly. Brittany K. Martinez with JLA.
That's correct. JLA all the way.
JLA all the way.
That's
John's going to like that, by the way.
Shoot John an invoice, please.
Cha-ching! Anyways, we are coming up against the break right now, but we are not going anywhere. We have plenty more to speak about in regards to VA, VA loans, how to buy a home, how to sell a home,
And how to move.
How to move a home. That is correct. So we have everything coming on board. Stay tuned. We're going to get up against a break, but we'll be
Right back.
Thank God for my life, and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we
love, like our chicken fried. I love that segment of the song, by the way. One of the best segments you can possibly get. Zach Brown, chicken fried. You know, it's. I'll tell you, I was actually at their concert 2 years ago.
Me as well. Sorry.
And during the rodeo, and Zach Brown was playing, and the individual from Lone Survivor, and I don't know why, is Marcus. They brought him on stage to during that scene, before that scene started. And let me tell you, it was deafening the amount of applause and cheers that he got at the stadium right there, and it just brought chill. You and I were there, actually,
yes.
Rob. You were there with me. I was singing every song wrong, by the way. Never really heard of them before.
I was ignoring you.
Yeah, and it was actually a lot of fun. At the very end of the concert, funny story, after I'm singing every single song wrong, but I thought it was a really good concert because I'd never heard Zach Brown in concert before, or even really heard any of their songs. I fell in love with them. We look over and realize that the whole time we could have been reading all the lyrics the right way.
So you have a man crush. Huh?
Well, and then there was a song that I swore I was singing it the wrong way. Remember, I was yelling that thing out, and it ended up being like an old song that was remade, and I was singing the whole thing wrong. So anyways, that's what made me fall in love with the Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
So,
well, they did a great job. That was actually my first time even to hear this music. So
yes.
That was new horizons for me.
That is correct for both of us that day.
Well, we're still here with Brittany K. Martinez, and we're talking about.
We're not letting her out of the studio. Yeah, John, I'm sorry, buddy. She's not coming back anytime soon.
I'm sure he'll miss me.
Actually, I tried to get John to come down and join us today, but obviously he has other things to do.
Everyone, you know, he is a busy man. I mean, you know, getting off subject a little bit, y'all have really grown over there at JLA.
I started at that brokerage in May of last year. We had about 40 agents, and now we are about 135.
That is amazing.
And we are expanding. We just opened a Crosby office. We are looking for the Woodlands and Galleria area, Katy,
yes.
even East Houston. So yeah, we're making our rounds.
Even East Houston.
Yes.
Well,
because
we have to hear that.
we were talking earlier about the lack of attention in the Pasadena area, which is about to really take off.
Right. And so you're one of the things you're absolutely right about that. You guys have absolutely grown. John is just an absolutely incredible guy, really good individual, and it's neat to see a company can grow like that, you know, and bring on great individuals like yourself who are a part of that growth. And then you're also doing a lot of stuff internationally, by the way. You were recently in Costa Rica, weren't you?
Yes, I just got back from Costa Rica. Yes. Amazing experience. Yes, I'm also doing real estate there. Part of a company that we also do serve Thailand and other countries as well.
Talk a little bit about that, because it was actually, you went down there for some, I guess, a seminar.
Yeah, it was a workshop with Compass Group International. They actually have filmed like over 16 episodes of House Hunters International. So
right.
they know what they're doing. They've got a lot of contacts there, as well as now I have my own personal contacts and sphere of influence over there. So
she liked it so well, she's going back in November.
Yes, I plan to go back in November unless I have any clients that need to go before then. So I am I am willing. Oh yeah, it's about to take off there, and actually.
I can just see the sales pitch, by the way. So you're looking for where? Have you heard of Costa Rica, by the way?
It's still a buyer's market there. It's great investment opportunities as well. And speaking of that, I actually got to meet a very decorated Marine there, retired, lives in a fantastic home in the Playa de Ocotal, and we actually got to dance the night of the way. He's a very highly decorated Vietnam veteran, and so that was awesome experience.
What does purchasing look like in Costa Rica?
Well, it's still a buyer's market. So, but awesome thing about purchasing in Costa Rica is while most things, it is fee simple, so you will own forever, unlike some other countries such as Mexico or whatnot that have limitations on that. Most for like a condo situation that is still an owner finance type situation, you can usually get in with about 30% down. Now your interest rates will be 6 to 8% or so, but you can still get in. Otherwise, cash is king there, as with any place.
Chris loves hearing that.
Yeah, but you can really honestly find something low 100s easily in a community with
Marine
pool
was
and all
retired
that.
there?
Yes. Yes.
That's interesting.
And from an investment standpoint, when you're purchasing there, dealing overseas, and this is kind of off I guess the whole veteran topic.
Veterans can retire or move there. Because speaking of that would be a total change of pace because there is no army in Costa Rica. They are so laid back and nonviolent and just chill. So
we could pretty much invade them, take them over just like that.
Well, they're very passionate people, Pura vida.
Rat Pack Army coming through.
We walk up, they put
hey, wait!
white flag.
Can we get
a couple of changes going on?
Hey,
5
Kelso,
o'clock
can we
starts
get a
at
bus
5
trip down
a.m.
there? Can we get a bus trip down there, Kelso?
We can do a plane trip down there. It'd be a lot
Speaking
faster.
of plane, and this is what I was saying, that Costa Rica is really about to take off. That well, I might need to get paid for this too. That Southwest will be starting flights there in November for a fraction of the cost. We're talking you can fly there for round trip for $300.
Oh wow!
Yes.
That will certainly open up. But they've been buying in Costa Rica for quite some time. So I've been here. I've had a lot of people go down there, and of course they have great experience. They're out there zip lining and enjoying the beach, and of course it's always hot and humid, but it's pretty consistent weather.
Awesome medical, awesome education. The people are so pleasant. I wasn't expecting to be welcomed the way that I was. The food. I'm so hungry right now.
We eat after
the show, yes.
If anyone is friends with me on Facebook, for sure you saw pictures of my food and my drinks because the drinks were just as good.
The question I was going to ask on the investment side, do you find that any of the folks that you're dealing with, is there investment, rental opportunity, that kind of stuff where people from the States are purchasing properties to
Absolutely,
rent?
and they're seeing 100% on their return within 4 to 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the condos that I particularly saw are rented out about 50 weeks out of the year. So
good night.
It
wow.
is ongoing, and like I've got personal relationships with people that are in property management there, so we can tackle anything.
That is awesome.
Well, so when we take our trip to Panama, let's stop at Costa Rica first.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole.
Yeah, we'll do a little.
We have a whole area
Central
to stop
America,
through
South
over there,
America trip.
Well, absolutely, and they're not much different, the two. So yeah.
And
get another little.
I would love the invite for that as well.
Superbike racing while we're at it in Panama.
Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right
Actually, Panama is where initially I wanted to shine my attention to, and then I had the opportunity for Costa Rica, so I'm open to both.
Yep.
Well, you can have houses in both. There's no rules,
Yeah, and and as you're talking about right there, and by the way, Nicole Lopez wants me to ask you a question right here, just as I was reading it.
Nicole is your cohort in crime
To
when
talk
y'all went
about
to
the
Costa
dessert,
Rica.
huh?
Yes, she was saying. She was asking me right here. I'm going to pull up my messenger, unfortunately, because it took a little bit longer. Here it is. She said, "Ask Brittany about the desserts in Costa Rica."
You would, Nicole. Thank you for that question. Desserts are fantabulous whenever you receive them.
Yeah.
Yes.
There must be something going on between those two right there. I do not know.
Yes. I was in Costa Rica with fabulous Nicole, and yes, there's this restaurant called Father Rooster, and I would have to say that they have the best apple pie a la mode. So that was
apple pie a la mode.
Yes.
Now she's hungrier.
Alrighty, absolutely.
Yes.
And Nicole is dying laughing
Yes.
right here, by the way, right now. I can just tell you that. So, Nicole,
Yeah.
I appreciate any other.
all I got was
any other
smiley
dirt you
faces
got
with
like
tears
that,
coming out of
Get it over to
my
us. We're
messenger,
here
yeah.
waiting for it.
I'm thinking what happened in Costa Rica stayed in Costa Rica.
I would agree with you.
I
Right
think
there.
so. We had a good time.
We had a really good time. We learned a lot about real estate.
Truly academic.
All work, no play.
So lots of hours studying.
I'll tell you what, that monkey though
Thick
did like
books.
you, didn't he?
The monkey almost gouged my eye out. She did not want to like me.
That sounds like
Wow.
a start of a funny story.
That was
That monkey almost gouged my eye out.
Yeah, well, we visited. There's zip lining tours and whatnot, and we actually found near where we were lodging. We found a where
Something.
I can't. I drew a blank. Anyway, where they take care of animals. Why can't I think of it? Yes,
A
that's
refuge.
it. Thank you.
I'm in your head.
Yes, and so they've got
Scary thought.
birds, horses, monkeys, pigs,
Lions and
goats.
tigers, oh my.
I'm sure there's lions and tigers there as well. Anyway, it's a nonprofit organization. It's actually housed. She has volunteers come in for a month at a time. And they just strictly come. They live in tents or this little shack and take care of all these awesome animal sanctuary. That's it. And thanks, Nicole.
Nicole is really good about the interactive side of this radio show. I appreciate that.
Yes, but anyway, yeah, awesome opportunities there as well. So,
Yeah, you can. The moral of the story is that you can obviously harass the Rat Pack on Facebook during the show.
During the show, right there. Yes.
oh, and
And guests.
And you got lion tigers there as well.
and raccoons. Did
And
y'all see the
raccoons.
baby raccoons? Oh,
Really?
Shy. Yeah, that was adorable.
She's ready to go back. She wants
Yeah,
that.
you can see her right
He
here.
wants
She's
that
just
apple pie a la
her
mode.
eyes keep going in the air like, oh, gosh, thinking about all the stuff. And then when Nicole says something, she's like, okay, I can't go there.
So, Brittany,
We love you too,
How
Nicole.
do we reach you?
You want my phone number or how to?
You asking me out, Rob?
Information off the air.
Yeah.
Rob, I am a married woman.
Yes. we are so not going there.
My God.
How do we get hold of you for the people out there, the listening audience?
Oh,
Okay.
that's an entirely different thing.
Yeah, I am officed in the Humble Kingwood area at JLA Realty, and I am reachable at 713-289-9990. Very simple, as well as BrittanyK@gmail.com, and that's KAY.
Say your phone number one more time just in case.
713-289-9990.
9990. Brittany K. Martinez. You know, we still have a lot more we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we're not letting her go.
In regards to our veterans, we're going to be taking some selfies here in the studio. She's cracking up. Nicole, thanks a lot for being interactive, by the way. We love you so much. And for all those listening, we're going to take a little bit of a break right now, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Got that string around my finger.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
How I got you on the show.
Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. I love all these.
Don't give
I
up
love
that
all these
daytime
intros.
job.
Hey, I'm not trying to give it up. I'm just trying to improve upon it.
Wow. Nobody does it better than Lee Greenwood.
Let me tell you, that's always one of those great, great, great songs right there. So we're having a great time speaking all about our veterans and all the great products and all the great services that Brittany K offers. And we're going to be talking about some loans here in a little bit. But first up, we actually have Z-Force Moving in the house.
And that is Troy Zapalak.
That is correct. Troy, how you doing, bud?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well. Let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
We are a moving company. We have had the honor and privilege to work with Brittany K. Martinez, and she reached out to us because we do a lot for veterans, active or retired military, and also first responders and educators as well.
You know, one of the things that I'd heard, and I know this for a fact, y'all have a very y'all cater very
Get it out,
well
Karis.
to the
Come on,
veterans.
come on.
That is correct. You have a program you do specifically for the veterans. You cater very well to the veterans.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes, we do. We do 30% off their total move, just because we feel like we want to give something back. They've served us, and as you heard from Brittany, it's a very hard process for them. It's quick. There's a lot of stress. That's part of our company motto is relax. We've got your move. That's our tagline. We want to take the stress out of moves. And we definitely want to help. And it's our way to give back to veterans. And we also do the work with the Wounded Warriors. For the last 2 months, we've taken $20 of each move. And in August, we'll be presenting a check to Wounded Warriors.
And the Wounded Warriors Project is an amazing. Denzel Washington, for example, is very well involved in that. And talk a little bit about Wounded Warriors and what that project is, and what got you involved in that one.
And we just wanted an organization to give back to. In reading up, and everyone is probably very familiar with what they do in serving our veterans and our military coming home from overseas. We just felt like we wanted to give back, not only with a discount for our active military and veterans, but also to an organization that can do a little bit more for them than what we can provide. We're here to offer a service and take care of those guys on a daily and weekly basis, and they've got a far, far greater outreach than we do, but we try to do our part here locally in Houston. We also serve the state of Texas in long distance as well.
What are the challenges that are faced to a veteran when you first get contacted by them? Is it usually like, hey, I just got my orders and I got to move today?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, it's very quick, and a lot of times we don't even we just go sight unseen. We'll just show up and move, and the one we did most recently, it was very quick. I think we had, I worked with Brittany on that one. We had, a 3-day turnaround? It literally was from the phone call to the second day we were there moving them, and I think we got them moved in a 4-bedroom house in about 4 hours in the heat.
Oh, my.
So it was a good experience.
Wow. That's amazing. But to be able to react that way is phenomenal.
We move fast, and, we're a small business, but as the owner, those type of moves I get involved in. There's a lot of times I'm pulled in different directions, but with those, I feel I take pride in what we're representing when we're out there. And my guys work hard every day, and I generally put my best crews and best number of people on those jobs. Very efficient, make it easy for them. We interact, laugh with the customer, ask questions, joke around with them. We just like to have a good time with it. And, I take a big pride in helping them out.
No, speaking.
Everybody's got a question.
Speaking of great experience, I think we have somebody calling in, and it says right here that we have a Sammy calling in that wants to speak to Troy. Sammy, are you online?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I know you've been holding a little bit, and I think you wanted to call in and say something or speak to Troy in regards to your experience with Z-Force Moving.
Yes. Troy, we hired Troy 2 months ago, and for our moving, and we were moving a semi 3.5 bedroom house, and it was a 2-story house. And oh my God, I don't have any words to say. They are amazing. And his employees and him by himself, it was just, we did not have to do anything. Like he said in his introduction that you relax, we move, that exactly what he does. We did not have to touch anything at all to help them move. They moved everything for us. And also, always I had to say that, okay, this is going to the truck, or this is going to the house, or this is going to the storage. That's all we have to say. So everybody was very polite, very courteous, and they knew what they're doing. And I recommend everybody in town to hire Z-Force Moving for sure. Well, and Troy is the best.
That is awesome. You can't get a better testimonial than that, let me tell you.
Thank you, Sammy. It was our pleasure. Like I said, we had a great crew, and we enjoyed moving you. That was quite an experience, and we actually managed in that move. They were selling some, oh gosh, it had to be the biggest bedroom set I've ever seen in my life. We took it apart, and the people that bought it wanted to come over and move it. So while we're doing our thing, I looked up, and these 3 gentlemen were trying to move this massive dresser down the stairs, and I'm like, guys, get over there and help them before they kill themselves. So if you're not familiar with how to move things, Sammy, I'm glad we could help you out. Please hire a mover, if not my company, someone else, because it can get dangerous. You can damage your merchandise, you can hurt yourself, And,
yes, absolutely. And that's why we kind of decided to sell that furniture. It was too heavy for us to move. And the people who bought it, they kind of took advantage of that, knowing that a mover's coming in. And so I'm just blessed that I had the best movers that did not damage my house.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Sammy, thank you very much. We appreciate you calling in. It's always great to have individuals who, number one, listen to the show, but number two, talk to our great guests about the great experiences they've had.
Thank you. You're welcome. You guys have a nice day.
Likewise, Sammy.
Thanks for
Thank
calling
you very
in.
much. You know, we're going to go right into a second call, actually. We have another individual who's called in right here. Her name is Jessica, and she's looking to ask, I guess, a couple of questions about Z-Force and how far you go. Jessica, you there? Hello, Jessica.
I just wanted to thank you, Troy, for what you do for the vets.
Thank you.
You're greatly appreciated. Not a lot of people do consider the vets and what they do. I really think that it means a lot.
Thank you.
Especially having families who have been in the military. But I wanted to know, what is the distance that you all travel?
Thanks for the question, and thank you for calling in. We go anywhere. In fact, next week we're moving a couple back to Shreveport, Louisiana. We did a job to Virginia a couple of months ago. So we will go anywhere. It doesn't matter on a moment's notice. Generally long-distance moves, I'll walk through, take an inventory. I'll write you up an estimation. Try to work with you if you're handling on a budget with a company move or something like that. Definitely, we can take you anywhere. We are local, long distance, state of Texas. It does not matter. We travel anywhere you need to go.
Okay. All right. And if we wanted to get in contact with you, how does that?
Yeah, absolutely. Give your number
up. Jessica, my number is 832-452-7610. And we do a lot on social media with Facebook. In fact, that's probably our number one primary source of advertising. Because I'm, as the owner, very interactive with my customers on Facebook, through phone calls, through texting, through emails, that sort of thing. I kind of put a personal touch on it. You can go to my Facebook website, which is www.facebook.com/ZForce Moving.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and definitely get in contact with you pretty soon. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you
very much,
Jessica.
Jessica.
Thank you.
You know, it's always good to get calls like that, you know, and one of the things we talk about, most people don't realize how important it is to have a good quality mover. And in your case, one that also gives back to the vets is even better. I mean, but
our recurring theme is hire a professional.
Hire a professional.
And if you think hiring a professional is expensive, hire an amateur.
Yeah. that is absolutely true there.
I have said so many times that there's, without a brilliant, an amazing mover, I have zero desire to ever go anywhere because I absolutely hate the process.
I hate it too, and I'm in the business. But it's what we do, and it's a need for people out there. And like I said, people can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And what would take 3 guys and a case of beer on a weekend 8 hours can take us 4 hours. And you can sit back and
what could go wrong?
Laugh
with
and joke,
beer,
right? You get to enjoy your beer and watch us sweat.
Back in my young life, I made the mistake of owning a truck, and I got suckered into that more times. Hey man, pizza and beer, dude. Come on over and just, hey, we're gonna have a good time. Just got through a few things to move. And 8 hours later, you're drenched in sweat and everything else, and like, I don't want your stinking pizza. I'm going home, man.
A case of water would be best.
Yeah. So I will never own a truck again. So I wised up to that. Have a small hatchback. I can't even fit much in there.
You can fit a box in there. That's it.
Yeah. You don't want me.
I'll take over your box of China.
That's it.
And then I'm done. And I'm finished.
I'm small. I have a small car. I'm of no use to you.
We're kind of coming up against a break again, so I thought we'd get his contact information
yes,
one more time.
Yes. And by the way, when just a while ago when Jessica asked for your phone number, never be shy about giving it out on air.
Sure. Yes. Well, I'm also too a radio virgin, so it's don't know the rules here.
No, absolutely. So how can we reach you again?
It's 832-452-7610. and at Z-Force Moving. And if you want to reach out to us on Facebook, it's www.facebook.com/Z-Force Moving.
And that is Troy Zapalak.
That is
Z-Force.
That is correct, with Z-Force Moving, and a big supporter of our vets, by the way. So if you're out there, remember
30%.
30%. That is
awesome.
correct, and a big supporter of the Wounded Warriors. We are coming up against a break. We will be right back again with both Troy, Brittany K. Martinez, and the great John Altick, who will be calling in. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank God for my life, and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our chicken fries and cold beer on a Friday
and
night.
We're back.
A pair of jeans that fit just right.
And we are back, by the way. Yes.
I guess we ought to do the rest of the show, huh?
Yes, we do need to do their show. I had one mic that was off really fast, so I had to get it back on.
We're going to let you work the boards from
Boy,
now on.
I know. I do really, really, really like that song, though, as I've said before. But, starting off this segment, we have Brittany K. Martinez with a great selfie going on right now. But even more importantly, we have John Altick with JLA, the main man himself. John, you on board there with us right now? John. I know he is there. John, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. What have you been up to?
Oh, not much. Just hanging out.
Hanging out, building some small real estate company up there in the area?
Well, I got a big check here for you, John. So
yeah,
you're ready for
I keep asking you when that check's coming through, Rob. Every day it gets bigger, right?
Yeah, well, you keep growing. Check gets bigger.
So, we're having a lot of fun. We've got some fantastic agents, and you've got one of my greatest right there in your
we're not letting her go, by the way.
I hear that.
I got her phone number now.
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to call in real quick, and you guys have done a fantastic job with the show. And one of the things I see as a broker sitting at the top and watching transactions occur underneath me, the greatest challenge I think we find with the VA deals as a whole is lack of education. A lot of realtors do not understand what the process looks like. And it's my understanding 15, 20 years ago it was not near as easy as it is today. And there's still that misconception that a VA contract is going to be difficult. They're going to ask you to replace half the house. It's not going to fund on time. We see this constantly. And that is oftentimes why the VA deals do not get accepted, and they pick an FHA or a conventional over a VA. And I agree with you, the fact that a VA loan is awesome, because once we get through appraisal, that thing closes 99.9% of the time. Absolutely. So just wanted to bring that up as I think a huge opportunity within our industry as a whole.
John, I could not agree with you more. One of the things we were talking about, I have this soapbox I get on when I'm in front of other agents and real estate companies and speaking with other individuals, and it's that exact point is, number one, the reason why VA loans are not utilized to the extent they need to be is because there's a misconception it's a harder loan. There's a misconception it's going to cost the seller money. There's a misconception it's not going to go through. And let me tell you one thing. There is not an underwriter out there that is not going to work even harder for our vets to make sure they get into that home. And the biggest misconception I tell everybody is there are allowable and non-allowable fees, but it doesn't say the seller has to pay for them. And so one of the things in doing so is you always have to make sure you go with an individual such as your beautiful lady here, Brittany K. Martinez, or somebody there with you, and somebody who understands not only the process of seeking out a home, but also the financing portion of it, because the combination of those two can make or break a deal. And it's that education on the other side, from the listing side, to say it's not going to impact and make something worse. It's going to actually end up being better. You have a better probability of closing a VA loan than you do any other loan out there.
Well, and what I feel, we get a lot of questions, and I'm not in production like I was because I'm in the management role now, but I even remember back when I was in production, we would get VA deals turned down, and when you would call the agent and ask why, were we outbid, or no, it's because you're VA, and we don't want to have to replace every window in our house. Then we don't do that anymore. That's
Right.
not requirements. And so it is. There's a history of it being difficult, and they've removed so much of that at this point in time, and it does make it easier for our veterans to get in. And you're right, understanding the process, and something you guys haven't brought up yet, but there's so many opportunities, even with the Texas Veterans Land Board,
Yep.
some of these other programs that are out here that can really make an easy transition for these veterans to get into a home. But you got to have the right group together. You got to have the right realtor. You've got to have the right loan officer. You've got to have, a brokerage that understands what you're trying to do and will go above and beyond. And I will say, some of the deals that I've worked with Brittany and watched her do, she definitely puts more time into those deals than I see most anybody else.
Well, she's a great individual.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Chris, I always like to talk about what the loan limits are on a VA loan.
Well, technically speaking, here's something funny. Most people don't realize it. VA has no loan limits on them.
Correct.
Okay, you can do a jumbo loan under VA. You can only do 100% financing, meaning no requirement of down payment, up to $417,000. But VA, I do deals all the time on the jumbo side. Individuals that are buying $800,000, $900,000. There's some very affluent veterans, and most people don't realize. In fact, one called me the other day buying a $950,000 home in the Heights. His VA, and he has 20% disability. His VA eligibility is better than a jumbo loan, absolutely, in rate and in down payment. So you want to take advantage of those. You absolutely want to take advantage of those, and you want to call somebody, like I said, really good like Brittany and the great John Altick.
Well, John brought the thing up. It's education.
Yeah, and he talks about it all the time.
Absolutely, he has seen me throw many hissy fits in the office because I'm just so passionate that I just don't understand. I don't want to call it un-American, but it's just so unpatriotic, or just everything. Just how can an agent or a builder, for that matter,
right,
just completely turn their head because of VA? And I must say that I have had just as many VA appraisals appraised for above value as they have for under. So it's just ridiculous that everyone just assumes that VA appraisals are going to be under.
Well, some of us who are veterans in the business remember their time when they had those VC sheets come out and they had to fix, if there was a scratch in the tub,
correct,
they would not pass it. So, I mean, it was really very strict. If there was a chip in the porcelain or anything like that, you had to address everything.
Right,
and
right.
So that has changed.
That
but
has
what
changed.
people who remember that still have that stuck in their head. Oh, we got to do this.
Correct,
and
correct.
It's just not the case anymore.
Correct.
Right. Yep, I would absolutely agree. Well, John, it's always a pleasure having you call in, bud. Remember, I'm going to be calling you next week because we have a tree pack deal coming up, by the way.
Give me a call.
Had to get that in, but how can we reach everybody? How can we reach everybody over at JLA, by the way? What's your main number?
You can catch us on our website, jlarealestate.com. You can give us a call in the office. You can give me a call on my cell phone, 281-744-2611. Like Brittany said, we've got about 135 agents all over Houston. I think we're adding 20 in the next week and a half, so watch that number grow. But
I just saw Rob's checkbook get a lot.
Yeah,
I had to
write multiple checks.
Rob's going to have to make that checkbook a little bit bigger. So, but anyway, you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for topics such as this. I think it's vital to our industry
great subject.
and consumers. So fantastic. You guys enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much, John. You take it easy. That was John Altick with JLA Realty. You're a great broker and individual over there.
Awesome.
We're going to go right back into somebody else who is actually on the line right now as well. We have Martha calling in, and she wants some information in regards to a home that has, I guess, an odor in it. Martha, how you doing?
I'm good this morning. How about you?
Doing very well. How are you doing?
Excellent. I've got a question. I've been living in this home for about 30 years, and I have my dog, and I've been smoking for about 30 years. I need to sell it, and they keep telling me it my feedback is saying it smells like smoking dog, and I guess I don't smell it because I live here, but I got to get rid of that because I got to sell my house. It just is too big. So what? That's one question. And then other thing, since I'm old, can I still get a mortgage? Can you still get a mortgage at my age, or is it, do you just worry that I'm going to die too quick?
Well, no. Well, one of the things that goes on, I'll address the mortgage side of things, and I'll have Brittany talk a little bit, or we can probably give out some information in regards to the smell of a property. But when it comes to a mortgage, there is no discrimination, and that includes race, color, creed, religion, or age. And so when you're out there getting a new mortgage, whether you're an individual who's 85 years old, or 15 years old. Well, 15 wouldn't be the 15 wouldn't be the right one. Let's say 25.
Yeah. If you have
let's say 25. Yes, you would you can get a mortgage. So from that perspective, there's no discrimination as long as you make all the qualifications that you need to do in reference to being able to qualify with income, with assets, with any required down payment. You're going to absolutely be able to get into a home independent.
And you'll
of your
definitely
age.
want to reach out to Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. He's definitely an expert in that arena, and he can help you. And he won't shamelessly plug himself over there, so I'm doing it for him.
Yeah.
Chris, give the caller here your number.
713-256-9138.
And we also have a solution for you on the odor side. So let's pass out to Vaughn Peterson's number.
We have a company called Clean Air. The gentleman's name is Vaughn Peterson, and they will get rid of all the smoke and pet odor.
That's
and
correct.
It's about a 24-hour process. It's a catalytic thing, and
it works phenomenally.
It is phenomenal. 832-276-6000. And again,
Now, is that going to hurt my dog?
well, you'd probably have to be out of the house for a day.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Now, what about me? Because I'm old, and is that going to mess up with any of mine? I have lots of medications I take.
It won't mess up
No.
anything.
In fact, it is healthy for you. It kills contaminants in the air. It's something that is actually very medically approved. It's actually very good for you.
You're going to feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Well, Martha, we really appreciate you calling in today. We are coming up against the end of the show. Hopefully we gave you some information right there. We appreciate you calling, though.
All right. Well, you boys have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
So, one of the things that we talk about all the time is we are up against the very last segment of the show. Brittany, what would you like to have everybody leave the show knowing today, either about you or about what we've spoken about?
Just as we've been stating how passionate I am about our veterans, our first responders, all those, my tagline is serving those that serve. Once again, I can be reached at 713-289-9990. I specialize in the Humble, Keigwood, Atascocita area, but I service all of Houston and surrounding areas. And I also have a referral program, so if anyone out there is not ready to purchase or sell, I also compensate for the referral as well. So everything is appreciated.
That is awesome, and that is the great Brittany K. Martinez. I always like to end the show with a great quote, and today is actually no different. One of the things it says is, life is very complicated. Don't try to find answers, because when you find answers, life will just change the questions. It's appropriate for what we go through every day of our lives, by the way. We have had an absolutely incredible VA show. Until next time, we are out.
Chris is
Frank.
Frank, he's Dean, and I'm Sammy.
Yes, that right. Yeah.
So tune in to the Really Big Show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word, KKHT.